You trust your tap water. You drink it every day. But what if the thing you believe is safe is slowly harming you? For decades, we've been told that tap water is clean, regulated, and perfectly fine to drink. Turn on the faucet, fill your glass, and don't think twice. But recently, more people are starting to question that assumption, and for good reason. The truth is, tap water today isn't what it used to be. Let's break this down. Water treatment systems were designed many years ago, at a time when the biggest threats were bacteria and visible contamination. Back then, filtering out dirt, killing germs, and adding a small amount of disinfectant was enough. But the world has changed. Today, our water sources are exposed to far more complex pollutants. Things like industrial chemicals, pharmaceutical residues, microplastics, pesticides, and heavy metals. These contaminants weren't part of the original plan when water systems were built, and many of them are not fully removed by standard treatment processes. That means even as safe, tap water can still contain trace amounts of substances that may affect your health over time. Now, you might be thinking, if it's unsafe, why is it still allowed? That's where it gets interesting. Water quality regulations are based on limits, acceptable levels of certain contaminants. As long as those levels stay below a defined threshold, the water is considered safe. But those thresholds don't always reflect long-term exposure or the combined effect of multiple substances. In other words, your water might meet the official standards and still not be ideal for daily consumption. And there's more. The water leaving the treatment plant isn't necessarily the same water that comes out of your tap. It travels through miles of pipes, some of them decades old. Along the way, it can pick up additional contaminants, especially if the infrastructure is aging or damaged. This is how issues like lead contamination can happen, even when the source water is clean. So now you have a system that was designed for older types of pollution, doesn't fully remove modern contaminants, relies on outdated infrastructure, and operates within limits that may not guarantee long-term safety. That's a problem. But here's where things really start to matter. Most people don't notice any immediate effects from drinking tap water. It looks clear. It tastes fine. There's no instant reaction. But the concern isn't about what happens today. It's about what happens over time. Small amounts of certain substances, consumed daily for years, can slowly build up in the body. This kind of exposure is subtle. It doesn't trigger alarms. It doesn't feel urgent. But it adds up. And that's why more people are starting to take control of their own water quality instead of relying entirely on public systems. This doesn't mean you need to panic. It means you need to be aware. Because once you understand the gap between regulated and optimal, you start to see why so many households are changing how they approach drinking water. Some people switch to bottled water, but that comes with its own issues, like plastic waste, cost, and inconsistent quality. Others invest in basic filters, like pitcher filters or faucet attachments. These can help, but they often only target a limited range of contaminants. Then there are more advanced systems designed to remove a broader spectrum of substances. These systems go beyond basic filtration and focus on reducing things that standard treatment might miss. The key insight here is simple. Clean-looking water is not the same as truly clean water. And relying on appearance, taste, or even outdated standards isn't enough anymore. The real shift happens when you stop assuming your water is fine and start verifying it. That could mean testing your water. It could mean learning what's actually in it. Or it could mean upgrading how you filter it at home. Because at the end of the day, water is something you consume every single day. It's one of the most consistent inputs into your body. And small improvements there can make a big difference over time. So where does this leave you? It leaves you with a choice. You can continue trusting the system blindly, or you can take a more active role in what you're putting into your body. Neither option requires fear, but one requires awareness. If this made you rethink your water, you're not alone. More people are asking the same questions and looking for better answers. If you want to go deeper into this and learn simple ways to improve your water quality at home, make sure to subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss the next videos where we break down practical solutions step by step. Also, check the description below. There's a useful resource there that explains a simple system many people are using to better filter their water at home. It's a great next step if you want to move from awareness to action. Because once you know what's really in your water, it's hard to ignore it.